It was a Tuesday night when my phone lit up with a message that froze the air around me. "Don't call or come over. We're done." I stared at those 6 words, thumb hovering above the keyboard, then typed 2 back. Got it. No bargaining, no tears, just a boundary finally snapping into place. I'm Marin Cole, an interior designer who carved my own lane in Santa Fe. For years, I'd been the fix behind my family's glossy facade, covering mom's treatments, wiring cash when the power bill at the restaurants unexpectedly spiked, paying off my brother's latest business detour. I thought loyalty meant funding every emergency. Turns out it only made me invisible. Growing up, our dinner table was a boardroom with aprons. Dad, Edward, turned one diner into a string of eateries and crowned my younger brother, Kai, heir in waiting. My sketches never counted as real labor, just cute doodles I'd grow out of. When I chose design school, Dad said if I wasn't joining the kitchens, I was on my own. So I was. Late shifts, scholarships, and a stack of loans I paid down one client at a time. The strange thing about being the family's safety net is that you only feel it when you stop catching them. By midnight after that text, my phone pulsed like a heartbeat. Missed calls, voicemails, a storm of bubbles. I didn't answer. I brewed coffee, opened my laptop, and began canceling every autopay I'd set up in their names. Clinical clicks that felt like cutting anchor rope. I didn't know it yet, but that simple "got it" was the first honest sentence I'd spoken to them in years. The next storms would test it. Morning unspooled into a bright sky. I took my coffee to the studio and buried myself in a project that didn't argue. The Casa Ocotillo remodel, a sun-bleached adobe with bones like poetry. My new client, a venture lawyer named Rowan Hale, arrived right at 9, sharp suit, scuffed boots. "I need the guest casitas opened by August," she said, surveying my mood boards like a jury. I kept my voice steady. "Then we start by listening." We walked the property while cicadas stitched the heat. I traced the light, measured the corridor's choke points, and sketched courtyards, drawing exits from old habits. Rowan matched my pace, asking precise questions. Airflow, salvage, cost. Competence has a sound. I hadn't heard it from my family in a long time. At noon, my phone buzzed again. Kai, then Mom. I turned the device face down. Boundaries are not fences, they're doors you learn to lock. I kept walking, into the light. Inside the main sala, the terrazzo had spidered into hairline cracks. "We can honor the fracture," I told Rowan, "by inlaying bronze seams, visible healing." She studied me. "You talk like someone rebuilding more than a house." I smiled without answering. We settled timelines, retained a structural engineer, and shook on phased payments that didn't leave me holding the bag. When Rowan left, the studio felt larger, as if a wall had slid back. Only then did I listen to one voicemail. Dad's voice, thinned by pride and panic. "Health inspector flagged the Southside kitchen. We need you." I breathed in the quiet. Need and love are not synonyms. I opened my calendar, drew a rectangle over Friday, and penciled one word. Maybe. Friday came like a drum roll. I walked into the Southside kitchen with a clipboard, a contract, and an invoice due on receipt. "I'll consult for 1 week," I told Dad, "within this scope." Kai signed before Dad could argue. The trouble wasn't mysterious. Walk-in temps flirted with danger, the hood wore a lacquer of grease, the prep sink lacked a backflow valve, and raw chicken cozied above cilantro. I drew a compliance map. Reorder storage, label times, buy probes, deep clean, plumber for the valve, retrain closers on cooling logs. Dad grumbled. Mom pressed tea into my hand, her quiet apology. By noon, vendors were booked and a checklist taped to the office wall, signatures by every line. We ran a mock inspection. People roll their eyes at clean lines until a health grade threatens their payroll. When the inspector returned, she moved like a metronome. Temperatures correct, hood cleaned, logs consistent. "Conditional pass," she said, setting a recheck for Monday. Relief across the crew felt earned, not borrowed from me. We posted the grade by the register, not to brag, but to remember and to honor work. I left the signed receipt on Dad's desk, and walked back into the high desert sun. "Driving," Rowan called. "Bronze seams approved," she said. "Would you design the Ocotillo restaurant too?" I watched a cloud shadow slide over Sage and said yes. That night, I boxed my ex's last things and slid the carton to the curb. No speeches. The house hummed, finely tuned. I brewed tea and opened a new page for Casa Ocotillo. Visible healing, open thresholds, paid in full. I wasn't the net anymore. I built rooms strong enough that people could stand on their own.